Okay, so a lot of Bernie bashing last night. The contestants at times shouting at each other. And I have to admit, I haven't watched a ton of these, but I've watched the last two.
Yes.
And they are good TV. Because
which means lots of emotion.
They're raw. They're
yes.
going after it. They're showing passion. But is this good? Is this something to show your kids? Is this
well,
something to talk
chances are, right, you are watching these with your children and talking about politics, which means that then they head to school and they talk about it with one another. We have psychiatrist Dr. Anna Shire here in studio with how to talk to your children about politics, because it's likely to be something that we chat about at the dinner table. Good morning to you, by the way. Welcome.
Good morning. And it's also something that they talk about at school because, we want to teach kids about the democratic process and what that looks like. So, yeah, I think it's happening both at home and at school. So it is important to talk about.
So, we always tell our kids, or at least we did when ours was little, don't raise your voice to somebody, don't interrupt, don't. Right. And so what we're seeing is, very accomplished people who have gotten to a high place in life doing that exact thing on television right in front of them. What do you say?
I think that this is a very valuable opportunity for parents to teach their kids, one, how do you have opinions that are different from other people? And that includes, in the household too. And this is a great opportunity for families to kind of discuss with each other, what are our values? What are our morals as a family? Well, we recycle all the time. Well, let's talk about, say, climate change and looking at, who are the candidates who might support what our family views are. And recognizing, too, that maybe your child has a different view from you, but giving them the space to be able to have that view and to gain their self-confidence so that they know, okay, well, I can express my views. My parents can express their views. It's okay if it's different. We don't need to raise our voices.
Right.
We can accept each other's opposing views, and they can learn how to have that self-confidence to have their own ideas and critically think through one person versus another. Or, think about, one big fear that a lot of parents have is, what if my child, ends up, say, vaping? Maybe the majority of their friends vape, but if you talk to your kids, these are the consequences, these are the things that can happen to your body. When you put them in a situation like that where, say, a lot of their friends are pushing them to do something, but you've given them space at home to, say, have their view that might differ from you, they'll feel so much more comfortable in a situation like that to be able to have their own view of, you know what? It's okay if you have your own thing that you want to do to your body, but for me, I prefer not to say vape.
So let's say they have that confidence. Maybe you've chatted with your children at school around the dinner table or things like that about politics. They go to school and on the playground, they chat with other students on the playground who maybe don't see things the way they see them, and vice versa, of course. What's your advice on helping them work through those verbal conflicts?
Sure. I think even within a family themselves, we have some of these verbal conflicts around politics. And it's so challenging because when it comes to politics, it's very, very personal.
Yes.
Your candidate may have some ideal or view that really means so much to you. So when somebody maybe is supporting a different candidate, it feels like a physical, emotional attack on you. So I think even within the family, being able to coolly discuss, well, this is why I like this, and I understand that aspect of why you like that person, but what really means the most to me is that, say XYZ is something that my candidate supports, and being able to do that calmly and teaching them either through role modeling or with them, if you have different views from your kids, how do you speak calmly and rationally and not only present what you need to say, but also accept other people's viewpoints and be able to keep your emotions out of it in the sense that you can hear their points.
And respond and not react.
Right. Because if you can recognize the little small parts that maybe the other person has that they're saying that does make sense, that kind of takes the fuel out of their fight against you. If you could say, well, yeah, I get that part, but this is the part that I don't really get. So that's why I feel a little different from you, but I get why you feel the way you feel.
Had a weird conversation with my 18-year-old last night. This is her first election. Hey, what do you think about this and that? She's like, well, Dad, I'm doing this. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go.
It's interesting when your kids start coming up with stuff,
Right.
And asking about the process and asking about what it means and what Bernie Sanders stands for and, fourth graders and seventh graders. It's really it keeps you on your toes as a parent, really.
Yes, and you want them to be asking these questions and you want to teach them how to think critically, to not just follow the masses, but to really think through, okay, this is how I choose one person over the other, just like that's how I choose one friend to be my closest friend and the others are acquaintances. These are things that they can take, from this particular situation of politics and put it into their own personal lives.
That was
true.
interesting. Dr. Shire, I always love having you in.
Thank you. I love being
you.
in. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
We'll have you back.